All right, so I have opened up this drawing to starting place. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this with the right file. So I'm going to do Wilkerson K underscore drawing two. Okay, so that's the very first thing I'm going to do. In this tutorial, let me just mention that this is really just practice, and you are going to be tempted to just race around and do this without the tutorial, but I'm going to ask you not to. And the reason is that we're really going to kind of dive deep into this pen tool so that you fully understand how to use it, manipulate it in the future. And this video is going to go 1 through 4. The next video we'll do 5 and 6. So that's what we're doing. Now, why are we spending so much time on the pen tool? The pen tool is also in Photoshop and InDesign. So once we master it, it's a pretty powerful tool we can use across software. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we want to work in Artboard 1. There's several ways to get into Artboard 1, but this time what we're going to do is click on Artboard 1, go to View, and then say Fit Artboard and Window. Okay, so there it is. All right, so now what I'd like to do is really zoom in on this work area. Again, there's a few ways to do this, but one is to use this zoom tool. If you don't see the zoom tool, you might see the hand tool. You'll have to click on it and then go up to the zoom tool. So I'm going to click on this twice, okay, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to get my pen tool. So I'm doing the pen tool, not the curvature tool. And again, if you don't see the pen tool, maybe it's because the anchor point tool is there, but there's the pen tool, okay? So this one, pretty easy. We're going to head into fills, make sure that there is no fill, so none. We're going to make sure that the stroke is black. If not, we're going to click on the black, and then we're going to go up to 4. So 4 points in there. Okay. So if we move in here, do you see how the pen has an asterisk by it? That means that we're kind of in drawing mode, and that if we click anywhere, we're going to start drawing. Okay. So we have to be a little careful about what we're doing. So we're going to come over to 1, click on it. And if I go over here, do you see that it stays kind of straight like that? Instead, what I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to go to 2, and I'm going to click and release. So I've got 2 anchor points and a line segment between. That's the vocabulary. Then I go to 3, click on it. And in the pen tool, a straight line is the default. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I've clicked through that. If you make a mistake anytime you draw, you can come up here to edit and do undo pen. Like let's say I made a mistake on my last one, then I can come back up here and go to 7. Okay. So now I'm going to click the selection tool to stop drawing. So I'm going to click the selection tool to stop drawing. Okay. And so with that crown path selected, I'm now going to go to the fill box and click on the box and choose yellow. Okay. Then I'm going to click in an empty area to deselect. So I can click on the selection button. I can click in an empty area. I can click on escape. I can also go up here and do select, deselect. Okay, so different ways to get out of that. Okay. So let's say I want to do something different. I've decided I want to do something different. So I could take the direct selection tool. Here it is. And I can move the path over between 5 and 6 here. And do you see how my pointer changes? And all of a sudden, when I'm over the line, there's a little black square next to it. So when that changes, I'm going to click to select that line segment, and then I'm going to choose Edit, Cut, okay? And this removes that selected segment. It's now, the crown is in two separate paths, so that's why the yellow fill isn't everywhere. And so now I'm going to come over to my pen and move it into 5. Now, look at right now my pen tool has an asterisk. When I get here, do you see how it has a plus next to it? That's not what I want. I want to come into the point that it has a forward slash. And when that happens, I'm going to connect the paths again. This tells me that if I click, I'm going to continue drawing from this anchor point. So then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm looking for a join circle. Okay, there's a circle, not that, not this, not that, but I'm looking for an actual circle, and then I click it, and then I've joined it. Okay, so I'm going to do select, deselect. Okay, I guess I don't have to deselect. Okay. I did need to deselect because I still have that going. So now what I'd like you to do is do some practicing on your own. And so to go down there, I'm going to go to the zoom. I'm going to switch to the hand tool, and I'm going to click it here. Okay. So like you to, do some practicing and make another crown. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a house using the pen tool. And so let's go down here to artboard 2. Okay. We're going to make, here's a house. So I'm going to, in the properties panel, go to none. I'm going to make sure that I'm still black stroke 4 point. Okay. I'm going to zoom in the work area. So I'm going to switch from hand to zoom, come here, click on that several times. And I'm going to, hold on, just making sure that I am, okay, I'm just making sure I was still recording. And I'm going to select the pen tool, okay? And I'm going to, in the, I'm going to click on 1 to set my first anchor point. And then you kind of see, this is called kind of the line preview. Sometimes people call it the rubber band too. And then I'm going to just move over to the 2. You know what? I need to do something first. I'm sorry. I'm going to press escape so I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to come up here to Windows, and I'm going to make sure that I have, I'm going to make sure, view. I'm going to make sure I have Smart Guides turned on because I want to show you some things with that. Okay, so I'm going to click on Smart Guides. And I am going to undo the pin. Okay, so now I'm sorry, it just took me a second. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to come up to 2. And do you see there's a gray box next to it that says 1.5 inches? If I have a lot of precision, I'd want to write that down because I'd want to make sure that the line from 6 to 7 is also 1.5 inches. So that's kind of helpful. We don't really have to do this right now, but I'm going to click on point 2. Then I'm going to move over to 3. And because I have the Smart Guides in, it will kind of really, like, I can move this here, but it really likes it when when I'm exactly straight. So it kind of snaps to that because I have Smart Guides on. So I am going to click on that one. Then I'm going to go up to 4 and click on it. And then I'm going to click on 5. Okay. So this tells me, kind of Gives me these guides to tell me where I'm at. All right. So now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to turn off the smart guides. So I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to turn off the smart guides. And so now I can do these fine gradations. It doesn't just automatically snap to a perfectly level line. But let's say I'm not in Smart Guides, and I want it to be a exactly straight line here. One thing I can do is I can press on the Shift, and then it does stay straight. Okay, so I'm going to click on it. I still am holding straight. I'm still holding the Shift down. And then I am going to come down to 7 and press on that one. Hold down the Shift. Now I'm going to come over to 1 until I see this circle. So I'm not going to do it up further. I'm not going to do it other places. I'm going to do it until I see, actually, when I have the circle next to it, I'm going to click on it so that I close the path. And now I've let go of Shift. Okay. So that's what I'm doing right now. This is now a closed box. And so I'd like you to practice making a different kind of house here, okay? And do it with the smart guides off using the Shift button, okay? So now let's work with curves. And we're working with curves with the pen tool instead of the curvature tool. So a little trickier. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom and switch to Artboard 3. I could also use my hand tool, okay? And I could come over here and do number 3, okay? So this is a curve at the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is go into this exploration area, okay, to just kind of figure some things out. So I do want to see that you've tried out this, okay? So I'm going to press the pen tool again, and I'm going to just explore some different things, okay? So to create a curve with the pen tool, instead of clicking to make an anchor point, you drag, which creates a direction line, okay? So let's see what this works like. So I am in this exploration, and I'm making sure that my fill color is none. And what I'm going to do is um, I'm going to right now just kind of show you if I click on this and release, I've got a straight line, right? And this is one thing that I could do, okay? But I want to try something different. So now I'm just going to click that. I'm going to press escape so I'm out of the mode. So that's what happens if I click in one, move away, and click again, make 2 anchor points, and there's a line segment. So I'm not going to do that instead. Instead, I'm going to make a curved path. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a click, and I'm going to drag it, and this becomes a direction line, okay? So I am going to release the button. And now I am going to do this, kind of move further away and click it. That's where my line is. So now I'm going to create a direction line. I pressed and dragged, and now I'm going to kind of figure out how this works. I'm going to click. Okay. Now I'm going to press and drag to get my direction line. And then I'm going to click. Okay. So I want you to just try some different things in that exploration to try and figure out how this works. So remember, to create the direction line, you're pressing and dragging, you let go, and then you draw your line. Okay. So let me, if that was a little confusing, go back, make sure that you know how to do that. Okay, so now we're over here in the work area. So I'm going to click here. Okay. And I'm going to go into the pin and I'm going to click here. I'm going to drag up to the direction line. So I have my finger on the mouse. Then I'm letting go. And then I am going to head here. And I can press and drag from the point down, but don't let down. Um, and so now you can see that that's not really working. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to do escape and I'm going to do undo pin. Okay. So now it has the asterisk by it. So I'm going to click on this and drag up to the red dot. I'm going to release the mount button. Okay, so I made an anchor point that has direction lines. So now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to click on this, point to, and then drag down to the red. Okay. So did you see how I did that? And you also see the direction lines. Okay, so let me do that again in case you missed that. I'm going to do undo pin, undo pin. Okay. So I am clicking on one, dragging to two. Okay. And then I'm releasing the mouse button. Now I'm going to two and dragging down here. And you can see that I did not quite hit the red button. And then I'm letting go. And there's the curve. Okay. Pressing escape to get out of it. And clicking the hand button. I'd like you to practice this. So do the one we just did, then go backwards, and then go here from the start, trying to figure out where your red buttons are. Okay, so you can see that I'm coming up to here, going that way. All right, so that's pretty tricky. Okay, so now let's draw a series of curves. So I'm going to go up to 4. And I'm going to take my zoom tool and I'm going to click on the zoom button. Okay. Okay. And since we've experimented with drawing a curve, now we're going to draw, this worm that contains continuous curves. Okay. So I make sure that fill button is none, stroke is black, and it's a 4-point. Okay. So I'm in my pen tool and I am going to press and drag from point 1, stopping at the red dot. Okay. Now that's exactly, how we started the last path on the other artboard. So now I am clicking, I'm releasing the button, coming over to 2, clicking on it and dragging to the red dot. Okay. All right. And then I release that button. And so when you drag to create a curve with the pen tool, you're creating a leading direction line and a trailing direction line. Okay. So we're going to be focusing a lot of our time on the section behind the anchor point, as you can kind of see. So now I'm coming up to 3, clicking on it, dragging up to 4, coming down to 4, dragging on it, coming up to 5, dragging up, coming down to 6 and dragging down. Okay. So that's how we're doing a curve. Okay. When I'm done with all that, another way to get rid of drawing is I can click on one of the selection tools. So I just did that. All right. So this is there. It's a lot, right? It's, you have to kind of figure this out. So now I'd like you to practice doing this. And the difference is it's angled. So do all of that. And then before you finish, because we're going to, continue another day, make sure that you do File, Save, so that you save all your work. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of go back and just see where we are. If I fit all in window, we've worked on 1, 2, 3, and 4, except I haven't done the practices. You will have also done the practices. Okay. And that's it.